welcome everyone. I'm Zsuzsa, Kecsmar, Chief Strategy Officer at Antavo, and I would like to welcome you on this webinar on how to bring loyalty programs to the next level. We will talk about global trends, stats, and technology, and we will compare it to regional numbers. And we are going to have our two great partners here, TJ Brandingmeyer from Bloomreach and Matthias Andersson from Milton. And I would like to ask you two to please introduce yourself, and TJ, maybe you can start.
Thanks. Yeah, I have this difficult Dutch name, TJ Brandingmeyer, so I just call myself TJ. I'm the VP of brand at Bloomreach. Bloomreach is a company which focuses on the entire commerce experience and how to personalize that using customer data. I will talk about the company a bit more in the slides to come, and I'm really looking forward to this webinar.
Excellent. How about you, Matthias?
I think I have a easier name compared to you, TJ, at least for the Swedes here in the audience, but Matthias Andersson, or in English maybe, Matthias Andersson, I don't know. I'm the co-founder and senior advisor at Milton, and what could be worth mentioning, I'm also a member of the global jury of eco-awards, and eco-awards, among other things, they award the best loyalty concept in the world. So it's really interesting to see loyalty concepts from every part of the world. And I'm also just published a book about personalization, and you know, relevance is maybe the most important when it comes to loyalty.
And I love this book, and it's just so nice to see my LinkedIn newsfeed being full of that book. It's the title is Hello First Name, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, sometimes I receive that message too, you know, from companies I'm not buying from because they just didn't care to include my, again, not that uncomplicated name. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you, you two, for being here, and I would like to share with you what is our agenda today. We will talk about three big topics. The first is global and Nordics loyalty and loyalty program trends. The second is TJ will talk about Matthias will talk about regional best practices for loyalty programs, how to design a loyalty program, and what are the tips and tricks that you should be considering when thinking of a loyalty program. And the third is building loyalty through data and personalization. We will talk about zero-party data, and we will talk about personalization. To be more specific, TJ will talk about this. We plan to keep our parts like 8 minutes. That's our plan, because we'd like to leave a bit of time at the end for Q&A. And please use this time. You can type your question when these questions come up in your mind. Here in the right, there is this GoToWebinar panel. And if you click on questions, there is this little label questions. If you open it down, then there is a text area where you can type your question. And then it's only us organizers who can see that. Others can't see that. So we will try to answer this question in this last 20 minutes. And if we don't end up answering your question, we will follow up with you in email. And we would like to leave a bit of time at the end. So we would leave like 10 minutes to noon, so everyone can walk to grab their lunch. This is the plan. So I would like to dive in, and oh yeah, so just to give you like a structural view, I am representing technology here, as Antavo is a technology company. TJ is representing Bloomreach. Bloomreach is a marketing automation and commerce experience and personalization tool for, again, commerce, and they are also a technology company. Matthias is from a services company, an agency. Milton, we will do a bit of introduction about these companies, but for your information, think of these when you are thinking about your questions, because I think it's quite a nice expert panel here, so feel free to ask. All right, so global and Nordics loyalty trends. Before diving into this, I would just like to share that Antavo is a technology company to run loyalty programs. They are recognized by the Gartner's, Rasters. We have all these strict qualifications, and we are in loyalty for a couple of years. This June, it will be 11 years that we started the company, as I'm one of the co-founders, and we came a long way. Now we are more than 110 people team, and they're great customers all over the world who chose to work with Antavo, including those that you can see here on the screen. I just wanted to include here a snapshot of the product that we have. It's basically for the loyalty manager, to the CRM manager, to create new campaigns and run the loyalty program. And the loyalty program can run wherever because we are API centric. So it can be in a mobile app, in a mobile pass, we can integrate to the POS, it can be in e-commerce, in stores, so you name it, basically. And then this brings me to the main topic about the big trends. This is my favorite quote from Gartner, because it was Gartner who said in their predictions on marketing trends for 2023 that 1 in 3 businesses without a loyalty program today will establish one by 2027. It's just basically in 4 years, it will be 1 in 3 companies who doesn't have a loyalty program today will establish one. It will be such an important part of marketeers' life. Companies will decide to launch these loyalty programs because it's a great way to connect with customers. Now I'm quoting the Global Customer Loyalty Report, where actually both Bloomreach and Milton contributed to when we produced it and launched it earlier this year. And according to that, there is this very nice number that out of those who measure ROI of their loyalty program, 80% reported positive ROI, and they earn almost 5 times more than what they spend. And it's a very comforting number. That's something that we were happy to include because that's definitely something to screenshot and to include in your own presentation when you're presenting to the C-level, to the board. Because once it's done, most of the times it can work. That's the message here. My next slide is about a European deep dive that we've done last year. And it's about that 63% of European companies want to engage customers outside of the buying cycle. What does it mean? It means that when loyalty programs are transactional, you are rewarding purchases. But when you engage customers outside of the buying cycle, you reward other things than purchases. And that's actually 10% below the global. It's 24% below the US. It's like a lot of difference globally, and we are quite behind. The APAC region is the one which drives innovation in this respect. And a couple of numbers from one of the reports that we contributed to, that Mondo Connect, the WPP agency in the UK, conducted with YouGov, and it's about, this number is about Finland. People in Finland really like loyalty programs, as it is more than 40% of them that said that they would join a loyalty program if the opportunity is presented. They're the ones that leading this list. That's nice to know, and there are more numbers. So I encourage you to search this, and you can download this without, it's just, you can just give your details and it's easy to download. The second number is that the Danish are very skeptical. It's only 29% that think that loyalty programs are a great way to reward customers. So they have this experience, basically. And my third number is that Norway and Sweden, these are the top 2 countries in terms of loyalty program adoption, meaning that more than 80% of their entire population is part at least one loyalty program. It's like a very huge number. It means it's hard to show something new. It also means if you show something new, it's a great opportunity, and Matthias will talk about it a bit later. Which will be the big trends for loyalty programs? Freemium. rewarding actions outside of the buying cycle, and emotional loyalty. And now I'm bringing 3 examples to all. Sweet Green just recently relaunched their loyalty program. They're actually based in the US, but it was in March when they relaunched it. And we liked it so much here at the Antavo team, also because there is no earn and burn, there are no tiers, there are no points. So there are many things that they don't have, but the things that they have is a great selection. And also it's paid, it's $10 per month for this premium membership. And members have to complete these challenges. So for example, you buy a certain salad with a specific sauce, for example, that's a challenge. And then you get rewarded for that. And there are products that are only for members. And then there is a permanent discount. So there is this permanent $3 off from all orders. And there is this free delivery that you can choose when to use once a month, because it's just once a month. So basically, that's about Sweet Green. It's a great example for a freemium loyalty program. We actually thought about this name because it's paid loyalty program or paid loyalty or what is it, but we just coined this term a couple of weeks ago with the Antavo team that maybe it's a freemium loyalty program. As it's used in software as a service, we can definitely use it in loyalty programs. The next one here is a company that everyone knows, Ikea. And what you can see here is a Google translated website of the Swedish Ikea. So everyone can understand here who doesn't speak Swedish. And I'm saying this also because loyalty programs for Ikea are different per country. And again, just like with Sweet Greens, there are no points here. It's more like a perks program. You get a constant discount, which is 5% off, and like special deals, surprise offers, free coffee. There are workshops, these like DIY workshops that are only for members. And also there are partner offers about those products that IKEA doesn't offer themselves, like paint, wallpapers, or like kitchen and bathroom accessories. And also for the members, if loyalty program members bring back their old furniture, IKEA buys it back for 50% more than if those bring it back who are not loyalty program members. And here comes my last slide, the last example, which is about Brookside. That is an Antavo customer, and I really always like to talk about them because I think they are amazing. They sell mountain wear. They are a retailer in Germany, and they sell all these equipments and clothing for hiking. And they reward if you go out and hike. They reward if you complete like even walking challenges if you don't have a mountain nearby. They even think of that. And it's done with the help of technology, as the loyalty program technology, Antavo, that they use is integrated with Strava and Vertical Life, these sport tracking apps that their customers use. And so this is how they can reward such activities. Right now, we are curious about your thoughts. We have a poll here that I would like to launch now. So we talked about, like I talked about, these great initiatives that you can do. But maybe your technology is limited, or maybe you can do that. This is why we wanted to ask from you, would you like to revamp your loyalty program in the next 3 years? And if you look at your screen now, there is this little poll that I started, and you can cast your vote. I see numbers are growing, like 49% of people voted. Now it's 51% of people voted. Okay, here we are. Now I'm closing the poll and sharing the results. Okay, so it shows that more than half of the people who gave an answer, they would like to revamp their loyalty program. many doesn't have a loyalty program, so maybe thinking about having one. This is maybe one of the reasons you are here. And then for 15%, there will be no change. Okay, thank you very much. It's nice to know. Now, I would like to go back to my slides and then give the word to Matthias to talk about regional best practices for loyalty programs.
Yeah, a quick intro to Milton. We're, as Zsuzsa said, we're an agency with more than, I think we're 450 employees around the globe in Helsinki, Tallinn, Riga, Stockholm, Brussels, and Washington, DC. And actually, I'm representing the part called Milton Lane sites, and we have won the best agency in Sweden the last 3 years when it comes to marketing, data, and technology, and like loyalty programs. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah, and now you really have to support me because this is the hardest presentation I've ever had. Present everything I know about loyalty programs in 8 to 9 minutes. So please cross your fingers for me. So when I hear about designing loyalty programs, I think of the loyalty program ecosystems as 3 equally important parts. First of all, we have like the public program, the actual loyalty program, where you get points for this, you can use it for that. You will have tiers, gold, silver, bronze. You will get invites to events, pre-access to sales, etc., etc. So like the actual loyalty program. And then we have a part called like the hidden program or behind the scenes parts of the program, and this part is really often neglected. So please, this is really interesting because in this part you will test, optimize, and if you find this is a really good thing, then you eventually will put it in your public program. I will talk more about that on the next slide. So we have the public program, like the behind the scenes part of the program, sophisticated stuff happening in there. And then we have the third and last part, which I call the member life cycle or the marketing automation part. Because if you don't have like a proper onboarding for the membership, you don't have like automated triggers for customers who drop negatively, you don't have a decent churn prevention program within your membership lifecycle marketing automation, then the program won't be a success. So you need all those 3 parts. And now I will go through the different parts. So when it comes to the public program or the actual program, I quite often hear here on the Nordic market, like the loyalty club is dead, earn and burn doesn't work anymore. Yeah, to some extent, you might be right, but to some extent, it works very well still. Like buying 1 krona will get you 1 point, and then you will get the bonus check when you have enough points. But what we see in the Nordic market is like other ways of getting or earning points, not only for purchasing. It's, quite often you will get points if you complete your customer profile, you refer a friend, you sign up for the weekly newsletters, etc., etc. Today you will get points for that as well. So you encourage the members to be more active. But and here I think Shine, the Chinese fast fashion company, they have taken this to an extreme. So please visit shine.se to get inspiration, or not inspiration, but anyhow, they have really taken this with other ways of earning points to the extreme. So there, for example, if you check in on shine.se every day for a week, you will get extra points. If you tune in to the live shopping, you will get extra points. If you compete in competitions, you don't have to win, you only need to compete in competitions, you will get extra points. So that's what we see on the Nordic market, more and more ways to get points. But still, yeah, earn and burn works quite well. And what else in those kind of more traditional loyalty programs? We have like tier-based quite often, like bronze, silver, gold, and that works very well as well. And here I got an important advice for you, because I quite often see like these tiers, but it's a huge gap between the entry tier or entry level and the next level here. And what does that mean? Yeah, if it's a too big gap, members will feel like, oh, I won't do that many purchases, and hence they will leave your loyalty program. So it's quite often to have like the second tier or level quite close to the first one, so you don't miss all those customers. And also, of course, you need some level so members could strive for. And what do we more see? Of course, it's quite common with offers and discounts, of course. And what do we see a lot more? Yeah, pre-access. For example, Antavo and us, we're working with NK, the Swedish counterpart to like Harrods, and they have pre-access for their most valuable customers, pre-access for and so forth and so forth. And when it comes to pre-access, I think Amazon or Amazon Prime, they have a really interesting concept, because when it's they are launching a really hot product, they will give pre-access for less than 1 hour to their members. So this is what we see a lot. And of course, invitation to events. And what's becoming more popular on the Nordic market is like the convenience part, like digital receipts, digital guarantees, etc. It's more or less like a hygiene factor nowadays when you're designing loyalty programs in the Nordics, and free shipping.
So I'm clicking Matthias. It's just like so great content that I even myself taking notes. So yeah, I'm clicking. Here we are.
Thank you. Yeah, so the public program and here like the hidden or behind the scenes program, here I think it's really important, and I think most companies actually miss this part. Like, you have to do the analysis. What could create an extra push to a more loyal behavior within the loyalty program? You have to do this analysis. For example, if you can see if a member is creating a customer profile, you know, saying what they're interested in, etc., etc. If that increases the likelihood of being a profitable customer, then you in some way have to push that behavior and reward that behavior. Or for example, your data or your analysis will show like if I bought from 4 or more categories, the likelihood of being profitable increases. Then you in your program you must award or push that kind of behavior. So push something to members who have done only 3, bought from 3 categories, and you know, review products, and you might find if a member have done a purchase online and in a physical store, that increases profitability. Then of course you in your hidden program or behind the scenes program should avoid that kind of behavior, etc., etc. And what you also should do here is like, for example, test the number of points really needed. I quite often see like programs, they have like a refer a friend, member get member thing, and nothing happens. Yeah, because they have a too small amount of points they're giving away. And sometimes I see the opposite. They give away 2,000 points if they do that. But if you would have done the testing, optimizing part, then you might have found only 200 points is enough. So you give away a lot of margin that you don't need to give away. So that's really, and of course, like Zsuzsa and Antavo, like gamification games, that worked really, really well. I got a really beautiful example, or 2 really beautiful examples. I got 4 kids, and when we are traveling and it's time for lunch, then my kids are like into their smartphones and into all apps, and the app with the best gamification, scratch your deal or spin the wheel, we will go to that fast food chain. And another, you can see målvaktens.ac. One of my sons is a football goalie, and every time they have a campaign, Målvakten.se, that might be spin the wheel and you will get your offer. My son is actually engaging all our relatives in signing up for Målvakten.se. So all the relatives are sitting there spinning the wheels in order to get the best deal of it. So you should do the analysis, test and see what really works, and then you might end up pushing that to the public program or still have it in the behind the scenes program. Really important. So the next part is, of course, the member life cycle. Even though you have the best loyalty programs, if you don't have the marketing automation or member life cycle in place, you won't succeed. So what could that be, for example? Yeah, in most industries, it's really important to get the members to do a second purchase really quickly on. So here you have to design a trigger. Bought first purchase, haven't bought the second within a few days. Then automated trigger, buy your second purchase within 5 days and you will get 10% off or whatever. Or, for example, you have a high frequency customer member, suddenly drops in behavior. Then you must have an automated trigger so to that customer, so he will come back to this high frequency, and etc., etc. And also, like one treatment that is really efficient is close to a new tier. We can find like you're really close to goal, then you send a push or email like, do one more purchase and you will become a gold. The ROI of that kind of campaigns are really huge. And the other way around, you're a gold, and if you don't do next purchase, you will be silver. That kind of campaigns should be automated in tools like Bloomreach, for example. I think I have to go to the last slide. So when you're designing a loyalty program, there are different dimensions or columns in this case you have to consider, and you need some ticks in all the boxes, not all the boxes, but in all columns. So for example, in order to have a successful loyalty program, if we take the first column, there should be some kind of financial award for the members, like get a bonus check or good deals or what that could be. Otherwise, you won't succeed in the program. So some kind of financial reward, yes, like something memorable or emotion. Yeah, like for example, the case with my son and Målvakten.se, or you know, many companies are like sending birthday wishes on the birthday. You could do them a bit more sexy or like gamified, and I'm sure your members will don't forget that treatment. So emotions, financials, and convenience, of course, it's getting more and more important when you're designing your loyalty programs, like as we said before, digital receipts, digital guarantees, etc. Know me, be relevant. Of course, today it's all about relevance. You should try to sell what the customer is interested in, not what you're interested in selling. And if you have tools like Bloomreach and Antavo, you can get those signals, so it can be really personal. So the next column, empower me, let me choose. Here I think like the Norwegian have a really beautiful thing. So for example, when you have done, I think it's 7 trips, you can then choose a new perk. That could be 2% discount, free fast track, free extra luggage, free pre-seat, or a free meal. You can choose one of them. And of course, today you can't even have a loyalty program without talking sustainability. So then I think my 8 or 9 minutes are out.
Yeah, and these are amazing 8 or 9 or maybe 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Matthias. So that was about loyalty program strategy. The next chapter will be from TJ about personalization, zero-party data, And this is why we would like to ask again this question from you, and I'm launching this poll. So when it comes to collecting zero-party data, what is the biggest challenge for you? Please have a look at this poll tool here right now in GoToWebinar, and then you can cast your votes. So there are 4 options. Feel free to click now. One is that customers are unwilling to share information as a challenge in collecting zero-party data. The second is that the lack of technology to harvest it. The third is the lack of strategy. And then number 4 is, I don't know what zero-party data is. So now I'm closing the poll and sharing the results, and lack of strategy. I see. So half of the people said that that's the biggest challenge for them, the lack of strategy, then the lack of technology, then maybe customers are unwilling to share information, and like majority, almost all people know what zero-party data is. So I'm hiding the results and going back to the presentation, and now I'm giving the word to TJ to talk about building loyalty through data and personalization.
Thanks a lot. I really enjoyed the presentation this far, so it's a high bar. So let's first dive into Bloomreach. So Bloomreach, it's headquartered in Mountain View, California, but has a large presence in Europe. So in total, we are around 1,000 people, but over 500 people are actually based in Europe. We really focus on the UK, the Benelux and Nordics, the DACH, and Central Europe. Those are our target markets, and we focus on these markets with our entire suite of products, which we call the Commerce Experience Cloud. And we have 3 pillars within that cloud. So one of the pillars is engagement, which is an omni-channel marketing automation platform, which has an integrated customer data engine. The second product is product discovery. So you can think about that from commerce search, when you have the search box on the right and you have the product grid and the facets. And then the third product is content. It's a headless CMS. All these products are focused on delivering measurable revenue growth, and they personalize the entire customer experience from first interaction to a lifetime relationship. Today, we focus really on the engagement product. The engagement product is often replacing email service providers, where currently the companies are just sending out blast emails, and they want to personalize using that customer data. So if you go to the next slide, and to echo what Matthias also said, all this is integrated with Antavo, and obviously we're always working with agencies to implement our product and deliver the best experience to our customers. Here you can see we serve over 1,400 customers, which represent over 400 billion in annual online revenue. And if you look at it from an industry perspective, you can think of customers like Ahold or Marks and Spencer's or Carrefour. From fashion, customers like Puma, Desigual, Levi's, G-Stars, Beauty and Home, for example, Pandora, B2B, Bosch or Sonopar. In travel and media, Hilton, TUI, or for example, the Financial Times, and Finserv, for example, Capital One and Top Denmark. If you go to the next slide, because that's the focus of my presentation is actually around the poll we just had. So it's interesting to know that a lot of people are questioning what your strategy should be, and why is that important to know about zero-party data and to have a strategy. And that's actually what we call the NEMO, or the NEMO effect. Is so what's happening in the industry is that a lot of browsers are not allowing it anymore to track cookies. A lot of the visitors, they have cookie blockers, so you basically don't know what's happening on your website if you just are focused on cookies. So if you don't know what's happening, you actually treat all your customers on your website as a first-time customer. If you go to the next slide, we can look at like how that affects, for example, a customer of ours. Here you can see which browsers are being used by the customers of our customer. If you look at Safari, they already are not allowing it anymore to use cookies. If you look at Firefox, that's the same. These browsers, depending on the regions, they have a larger share, but here you can already see that over 50% of their customers are not allowing it to track cookies anymore. And then you have Chrome, Google Chrome, which at the end of 2024 is also not allowing you to track cookies anymore. So if you're unable to track cookies, if you go to the next slide, how is that impacting your business? So you have less data for optimization, so personalizing experience become less efficient and effective. You have increased cost per action. Changes in purchase revenue data show paid channels are getting worse. And you're paralyzing your budget because you don't know which channel is working and which is not. So it has a really big impact on your strategy. So if you look at Forrester, if you go to the next slide, they already show that the way to solve this problem is to focus on zero-party data. And the thing what we see with other customers is that they store their zero-party data in their customer data engine. But the way to do that is that you have to create a connection with your customer. So when your customer is becoming a loyal customer and they trust your brand, they can proactively share the information with you, and then you can use it to improve that relationship. So if we go to the next slide, you can see, for example, a customer of ours, Babywalls. This is in Germany. Babywalls is selling products for people who just got a little newborn, and people trust that brand that much that they leave their data already during their pregnancy, and this company stays with that customer, or at that time it might even be a prospect because they didn't buy anything, but often start buying when at the end of the pregnancy. But during that, they have a pregnancy life cycle email sequence that has an average open rate of over 52%. So this is what you can see, is that if people trust you, they become your brand ambassadors. So if you go to the next case, I will show some use cases, from simple use cases to a bit more advanced. And Matthias also already touched upon this, but this is where you build these customer journeys with certain triggers, and in that way you can increase your brand loyalty. So this is a most basic welcome flow. So when a customer is signing up during the process, you immediately contact that customer with a customized email, and you meet or inform them about your brand, your incentives to purchase or recommend, and all the things they can do with your brand. And it shows that welcome emails have an 86% higher open rates than other marketing emails. This is for example, a Restock Alert. What we see is that people are interested in, for example, a certain product, and they would like to buy it, but it's actually not available in their size. So what you can do is you can provide the option to notify me when this product is back in store again. So you avoid a loss of purchase, but you also drive customer loyalty because they know they're going to get that product and they don't need to go to a different brand. A different way how you can increase loyalty is with a price drop alert. So if somebody's interested in a certain product, but at that time thinks it's too expensive for them, and they would like to learn when it's on discount or when it's on sale, they can leave their email, and when it drops in alert, or when it drops in price, you can alert them with a personalized message, and it really drives customer loyalty. The last example is Matthias spoke about the birthday game campaign. I think everybody knows that, but this is a different variant on it. It's a half birthday campaign, which is more the unexpected surprise. So what you could do is after 6 months, you give them a half birthday email, personalized with a discount voucher. and gives them a sense of occasion and choose to treat themselves by purchasing something from your company. So these are all examples which show how you can improve your brand experience, but especially how you can build up that relationship with your customers to create loyal customers.
Excellent, TJ. Thank you very much. And I think this brought us to the end of the presentation part and then to the beginning of the Q&A. So if you still have the chance to stay like for 10 minutes or so, now our original 20 decreased to 10, please stay and ask questions here in the questions label on the right. So in this GoToWebinar panel, there is this questions. You open it down and then to the text area, you can type your question. And there are a couple already, so nice. Let me start with the first one. Hey folks, great presentation, thank you. A question to Matthias. Do you have evidence which shows if people want to have levels or not? I see certain programs, like at airlines, which still use levels, while other programs become more and more lean and got rid of these levels. So Matthias, what do you think, if you can answer this question?
Really excellent question, and I had to think for a few seconds. But when it comes to like evidence, I know I read a white paper about it that was like really statistical and really nice, and I think it was from the entire Western world. But however, I think it mustn't necessarily be like open tiers like gold, silver, bronze, but people need something to strive for. So they need to feel like if I buy more and more and more again, I want better things from you. So it could either be like tiers with gold, silver, bronze, or it could be more like gamified, like the more stamps you get, you know you will get more from the company. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like open tiers. There could be more of like hidden tiers, but anyhow, people strive for something more and they want more from you if they're more loyal and interact more with you. I think that's my answer to that. It works very well with tiers, but it could be like open or like more hidden, more sophisticated. And what do you say, TJ and Zsuzsa?
I actually say that we should go with the next questions because we have many.
Okay, sorry.
Give me a great idea to actually research this and then ask for evidence, because we will soon start the research to our global customer loyalty report in September, and that's something that we can definitely ask. All right, the next question comes for TJ. How do you set up a loyalty program that can grow with you over time? What do you think about this, TJ? How do you set up a great loyalty program that can grow with you over time?
Yeah, that's a great question, and always, and I look also what Matthias presented earlier on the presentation, like you have the back office and you need flexibility to basically optimize your loyalty program. So to set up a great loyalty program, you need to be able to change it over time and be also aware of all the things which are happening in the future. So in that sense, and that becomes where it becomes a bit more technical, but if you have a flexible system which has APIs and is not connected to a certain channel, then you have the ability to grow when new channels pop up. When, for example, everybody is interested now what's happening with the new Apple glasses as a new channel and what you can do there. A different way is always really thinking about like all the things around like GDPR and privacy to make sure that you can always use the data in a way that you can make sure that you are secure, but also have a good relationship with a customer, which you only address in the channels they would like to receive messages in. So you need to be able to be flexible and also be focused on all the regulations which are there in certain countries.
Okay, we have a couple of more questions. The next is about freemium loyalty programs. I will be happy to answer that. Freemium loyalty programs, who else is doing it well? So this is the question. And we made a list about these recently, and maybe we'll also publish some material like an article about it. But one example that we had a look at was a CVS, the pharmacy chain in the US, but they are also in the UK and other countries, and they have this Care Pass. So that's the CVS Care Pass that I would say it's one of them. The second is Barnes & Noble, the bookstore Barnes & Noble, and I've seen this at other book companies too, when they have even a subscription every month in their book club, which is, I think, amazing. And then we talked about Sweet Green. I talked about it earlier. And then there is the there is one airline program too, the Emirates airline program, the Skywards, Emirates Skywards. It also has a paid element. Okay. The next question is for Matthias. It's about eco-friendliness. Matthias, so prepare yourself. So do you see Nordic's companies incorporating eco-friendliness and sustainability into their loyalty programs? Is this really happening?
Yeah, I must say, yeah. Every potential client I meet, they talk about sustainability. So I think all actors in the Nordic market are thinking about it. And for example, I think H&M are doing a really beautiful thing. For example, if you go to a shop, H&M shop, and they will ask you, do you want to buy a bag? And you say, no, I won't. Then you will get some extra points for that, not buying a bag, because they want you to be eco-friendly and sustainable. We have some other examples on the Swedish market, at least Polarn och Pyret. They are really sustainable, and they have been for many years. You can go with their clothes to the shop and they will repair it. If you remember, they have done this for ages. And for example, like my local grocery shop, if I buy more like sustainable, eco-friendly products, I will get double points for buying those kind of products. So definitely, all the time. I'm
a very loyal customer to H&M. I have 3 kids, and I'm saving up all the perks that I receive for bringing back the old clothes to the back to school period, because then this is when you need to buy all the new clothes for these kids who grow so much all the time. Anyway, another question, yeah. Maybe this is our last question, and that's for TJ. A question for TJ. How do you see offers such as not to buy when the price drops impacts profitability? So the question is, how do you see that these kinds of offers would impact profitability?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think it's definitely also a question we should ask in this time. So if we look at our customer base, we see that a lot of our customers are investing a lot more in loyalty program, where a few years ago it was all about growth. So, and a lot of companies purely looked at just growing by getting new customers. And now actually we see that a lot of our customers are focused a lot more on getting more from existing customers. So the lifetime value out of the existing customers. So to immediately answer the question, obviously if you drop the price, that has an impact on the margin, but we see that our customers are doing this at the end of the life cycle of that season or from that product. So if they want to put that product already on discount, they just want to make sure that they notify the customers which are interested in that product that they are aware. So instead of so in that sense, it doesn't have an impact on the margin. They just alert the people which are interested in the discounted products that now it's on discount.
Okay, thank you very much, TJ. We had 5 more questions that we are going to respond in emails. Thank you very much for these amazing questions. I'd like to wrap up this webinar and give back a bit of your time. Thank you very much, TJ and Matthias, for being here with us. Again, TJ is from Bloomreach, the commerce experience technology, which has this CMS, marketing automation, personalization capabilities. Matthias is from Milton, which is a great agency to design a loyalty program strategy. And I'm from Antavo, which is the technology to run loyalty programs. Feel free to add us on LinkedIn, and looking forward to see you next time. And then we will write those who asked the questions, but we couldn't respond. So thank you very much and have a great rest of your day. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.